I would like to read aloud to you today a book about Keith Haring. He is a very famous modern artist from here in America, and he is known for his use of line. And this is a biography written about him by K.A. Haring, who is his sister. A little bit about the genre of biography. Biographies are books about real people who and their real lives, but it's written by someone else. If this was a book about Keith Haring by Keith Haring, then we would call it an autobiography. But this is written by his sister, so it's a biography. Okay, let's get started. Keith Haring, the boy who just kept drawing. Ugh, look at this line work. It's beautiful. There was a boy named Keith. This kind of reminds me of Harold and the Purple Crayon. When he was little, his father taught him how to draw dogs and fish and funny things. His dad would draw a line, and then Keith would draw one, and soon the page would be full. From that time on, Keith never stopped drawing. In elementary school, while taking tests, Keith doodled on the edge of his paper. When he handed in his work, his teachers would ask, "Why did you doodle on this important paper?" And Keith didn't answer. He went back to his desk and just kept drawing. Sometimes Keith invited his friends to draw in his backyard clubhouse. Keith made symbols and said each one represented a letter of the alphabet. His friends asked, "Why do you use symbols to write?" Keith drew more symbols. It was his way of answering their question, and he encouraged his friends to join him. Here's an example, and it says cipher at the top, which means that this is the way to understand the code. So it has all the letters of the alphabet down the side and a symbol in 7 different codes. I'm wondering, because this is like a photograph, if this is like an actual thing that Keith Haring drew right here. As a teenager, Keith liked to draw in his bedroom with music playing loud. He would draw on every piece of paper he could find. His mother had to yell over the music. "Why can't you turn that music down and go outside to ride your bike?" But Keith had sold his bike to buy art supplies. So he answered, "Look at these cool drawings I did." And he just kept drawing. I'm wondering again, and I'm going to go ahead and infer that these are all drawings by the actual artist. When Keith was in high school, he won first prize for his art. A successful couple from town offered to buy his drawing, but Keith said, "No, thank you. If you enjoy my art, you can just have it. Hang it on your wall, no charge." Keith's sisters were shocked. "Why didn't you take the money?" they asked. Keith shrugged. He wanted to just keep drawing. I wonder which one is Kay, the author of this book. Keith graduated from high school and went to the big city of Pittsburgh to a school that would teach him about art. There were boys on the street trying something new, breakdancing. He liked the crazy shapes of their bodies as they turned and flipped on the ground. While the music played loud, Keith started drawing wiggly lines. His teachers asked him, "Why are you drawing pictures that look like scrambled bodies? This is not what we told you to draw." Keith knew how to draw. He just wanted to draw in different ways. And he kept drawing. I love the way that the artist, the illustrator of this book, used all these shapes and lines in their work. Keith moved to the huge city of New York when he was 20, so he could draw with other artists. He started to draw all over the city, on walls, on sidewalks, and on paper that he hung on lampposts. His drawings were washed away by the rain or torn down by street cleaners. Other artists asked Keith, "Why do you draw in places where your pictures are erased?" Keith didn't answer them. He was searching for another wall so he could keep drawing. And these are some of the iconic things that Keith Haring is known for. Just these forms and shapes with simple lines. Keith got a job delivering packages and sometimes rode the subway. One day he saw a panel of black paper on the wall in a station. He rushed outside to buy chalk and came back and began to draw. The white chalk made bright, smooth lines on the black paper. Day after day, Keith filled the empty panels of the subway with art. Soon, people who rode the subways were looking for his white chalk drawings. No one knew the name of the artist, but his drawings were easy to recognize. People asked him, "Why are you drawing here? What do your pictures mean?" Keith said, "What do you see? You decide what they mean." Where Keith lived, there was trash on the street, and people didn't always say hello to each other. One day, he and his friends cleaned up 20 bags of garbage in front of a long wall. Then, Keith painted square faces with smiles and body shapes dancing upside down. The neighbors liked the drawings and stopped to say, "Thank you." A policeman came by and lectured Keith. Lecture is like when you get in trouble with your parents and they talk to you with that very stern voice. "Why did you do this? I have to give you a ticket because you didn't get permission." Keith paid the fine and just kept drawing. He's there. Soon, people wanted to see more of Keith's drawings, and he was asked to display his work in an art gallery. Art was hung from floor to ceiling, and in between, he painted on the walls. Keith invited everyone to come and enjoy his work. All of Keith's artwork sold. The gallery owner asked him, "What are you going to do with all this money?" Keith said, "I read in the newspaper that there are kids who don't have enough to eat. I didn't have this money yesterday, and I was happy. If I don't have it tomorrow, I'll still be happy. All children need to eat. I'll send the money to them." The gallery owner just gasped. "Why?" Keith just smiled and started to draw again. I'm noticing that there is a lot of the question why throughout this book. Like no one really understands Keith, and he's okay with that. Oh, this is beautiful. I love the primary and secondary colors. Now people were inviting Keith to draw in famous museums and exhibits and galleries all over the world. He was proud that he had become a successful artist, but everywhere he went, Keith insisted he paint a mural so everyone could enjoy his work, not just the people who had money to buy it. During a visit to Paris, France, Keith painted on the outside of a children's hospital, 6 stories high. Newspaper reporters came to take pictures and asked, "Why did you paint at the hospital? Do you think it will make the sick children feel better?" Keith didn't have time to answer. He just had to finish the painting. When the Statue of Liberty was 100 years old, Keith drew an outline of the famous statue on a huge piece of vinyl fabric. He asked 900 kids to help him finish the drawing. Keith told them, "Draw anything, whatever you want. No one can say it's bad or good. It's yours." I like that. I'm going to read that again. Draw anything, whatever you want. No one can say it's bad or good. It's yours. When the giant painting was displayed, people were amazed to see what Keith and the kids had made. But the art critics couldn't understand why a famous artist was drawing with kids. But you know Keith, he just kept drawing. Keith painted all over the world. He would draw on anything, anytime, anywhere. Wherever he went, whatever he did, he would not stop. He just kept drawing. Now everyone wanted to know, and together they shouted, "Why? Why do you draw all the time? Why do you give your artwork away? Why do you draw on buildings, on people, on clothing, on furniture, on subway walls, on cars, on skateboards, on walls that belong to no one, and on the things to be thrown away? Why do you draw on everything?" Keith stopped drawing just for a moment and answered, "I draw all the time because there are many spaces to fill. I give my drawings away to help make the world a better place. I draw everywhere because everyone needs art." Then Keith turned back to the street, took out a piece of chalk from his pocket, and just kept drawing. So sometimes at the end of nonfiction books, the author includes something called an author's note, which is where they include a message to the reader. And here it includes several photographs of Keith and his family, and it's signed by the author, Kay, who is Keith's sister. I'll read this story here so you can enjoy it as well. "I wrote this story to answer the question I'm always asked. What was Keith like as a kid? The answer is, he was always drawing. When we were growing up, our dad was a great inspiration. We'd substitute time in front of the TV with drawing at the kitchen table. During church services or school concerts, Dad would doodle in the margin of the program and pass it on for us to add our own drawings. Mom would proudly display our artwork on the refrigerator. Keith's lifelong love of creating art developed into an extraordinary commitment to making art accessible to all people, and he worked hard. Even after achieving great fame, he would often return to New York City from an exhibit overseas and get to the subway as soon as possible to draw there, saying, 'The people riding the subway need art too.' Keith believed, 'There is good in everyone, and I concentrate on that.' He lived his life according to this principle and treated everyone, from young children to famous celebrities to world leaders, in the very same respectful, friendly manner. Keith's exhibit openings were a testament to this. In attendance were a fascinating array of celebrities, families with young children, graffiti artists, people who never set foot inside of a gallery before, and wealthy art collectors. It was always a diverse crowd, all brought together by his dynamic personality and vibrant art. What I want people to remember about Keith is his deep commitment to community and his unending generosity. There was something magical about how the more he gave away, more doors were open to him, and he used that as a springboard to reach even more people. Keith's energy and ideals live on in his works of art all over the world and in the ripples of inspiration he started and that have echoed around the globe. His enduring legacy is captured best in his most well-known icon, Keith's crawling baby, better known as the Radiant Baby, radiates his love for children, celebration of life, and his passion to spread art around the world. To honor my brother's spirit and pay tribute to a life devoted of celebrating goodness in all human life, a portion of my proceeds from the sale of this book will be donated in an organization that benefits the youth of Berks County, Pennsylvania, our family home. The Youth Advisory Committee of Berks County Community Foundation empowers high school students to address the issues facing young people in their community by raising and distributing funds to meet those needs. Find out more at www.bccf.org. Okay. So here is a photo of Keith Haring here in front of his artwork. And there is more, just a quick nonfiction piece written about him. And then here's all the art. So our inference here is confirmed. All of the art that we saw in the book was actually his art. And I love this. It's very beautiful. And there it is. Art is for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this book. I just think it is spectacular. Thanks for listening with me today.